You know what's so interesting? Every time we have a guest, right, as they hear my director count down is when they always ask me a question. So if you do hear sounds, we're just talking. We're people. We are people. But yes, Dr. Moka, I'm not even sure what question you were asking me, but I presume now you're okay.
Very okay.
Fantastic. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you
to the
very
studio.
much.
And welcome to you to our third hour of K24 Alfajiri. This is when we normally have a social discussion. And today we're going to be sitting down with Dr. Moka Lantum, who is a serial entrepreneur with over 20 years experience in general medicine and healthcare management in resource limited settings, and with a passion for promoting equitable access to health information technology in this African health setting. Now, through his organization, Sagittarius Limited, he has designed a mobile app. It's called iSecure that helps household to conveniently access and pay for healthcare services and quality medicine in real time. If it's a bit difficult for you to understand, no worries. That's why he's here to explain. If you have any questions, please do direct them at K24 TV. That's on Twitter. We're also on Facebook. You can go ahead, 21222 on our SMS line, and we'd love to hear from you. So call in live in studio and ask whatever question you have. Our number will be appearing any minute right at the bottom of your screen. So let's get started. Thank you so much for making time this morning.
Thank you for having me here this morning.
Over 20 years experience in your field. That's a long time.
It's a long time. That may be dating me, but that's how much. Actually, I started in global health at the age of 19, and so it's a space I'm very comfortable in, and you know, the objective is to help as many families as we can access the right care that they need.
Yeah, and this is very, very unique. Of course, embracing digital technology and the advancements that have been made in recent times, and just trying to connect to the two. But here in Africa, I bet it's not. It's very challenging because of electricity and Wi-Fi and a lot of other things. So your app requires the internet, right?
Sure, that's correct. Yes. No, the internet is where things are happening.
Yeah.
And so data and the mobile phone is where we live these days. And so it's important that we have healthcare catch up with the rest of the other sectors. You have the banking sector, obviously that is way ahead. You have the travel and leisure sector that is way ahead.
Yeah.
Education is also ahead, agriculture is ahead, healthcare is behind. And so our slogan right now is to say, make healthcare great again.
Oh, hello, Trump. I like that. I like that. Yeah. And it sounds like it came from a very, like it was a passion project that you saw the need and went ahead to do it. So tell us the story of how you came up with ISEC.
Sure. The story about iSecure is one of very modest beginnings, as you rightly picked up. They had been doing work in the EMR space, where we're putting software in hospitals. And there was a baby, this was in a clinic in Western Kenya. I went to do a site visit, and there was a little baby who was there with the mother. And the baby had just been prescribed medicine for pneumonia. And it took that baby over 7 hours to get the right treatment. And so, and the delays were such. You get a prescription, then what happens? That's not the end of the story. The journey has just begun. And so now this is a lady, now the mother goes to the next clinic about 15 minutes away, somewhere in Ahero, and then she doesn't find medicine. Then she takes a bus, goes to central Ahero town, doesn't find medicine, and she ends up at 4 p.m. The diagnosis is made at 8 o'clock in the morning. She ends up at 4 p.m. at Kisumu General. She finds the medicine, but she cannot afford the medicine, so now she's supposed to come back all the way to the house, get money, and then go back. Now that is the healthcare challenge that we are trying to solve. It is a very fundamental challenge, and so we realize that we have to do something about it. And obviously mobile technology allows us to now leapfrog and say, can we use mobile technology to bridge the gap for as many households as we can? A number that you might be surprised about this morning is that as we speak, there are 60,000 households this morning looking for a doctor.
60,000?
60,000.
This is in this country?
In this country alone.
Oh, wow, that's a lot of people.
And out of those 60,000, 80% would not know where to start.
So you mean they don't have access to the hospitals, or they need specialized care and they don't know where to get that? Or when you say that they're looking for a doctor, what do you mean?
So most folks would say, okay, I have abdominal pain. And if you have a friend who is a medical provider, you call, who can I talk to? I'm looking for a doctor, and you may not even know what's going on. And that's usually where that's the first barrier. Now, in most cases, you get there, but you may not be sure how much are you going to be charged? What is the wait time? Is the doctor going to be there? By the way, I have other things. And those social barriers now prevent many people from going to the provider. Now, the best case is that 75% would end up somewhere. Out of those 75%, 40% would get there and they can't pay.
Yeah.
So that is roughly 40,000 people today would get, once they get the bill, they will not know exactly how to pay. They have to call a friend, call a brother and a sister to say, can you please send me some money so that I can pay? Now, that is even good. The last part of the journey is that once as they are given the prescription, over 64% of those who get the prescription would get into a healthcare facility that medicine is not there. And they would go to 3 to 4 places. So when we say make healthcare great again, is because we really have a fundamental breakdown in how we search for care. And that journey is a journey that we can bridge, and that's what we're trying to bridge.
All right. So you came up with the idea of the app, but I can bet that something of this magnitude, you cannot have done it by yourself. So do you have a team of doctors, specialists who have decided or agreed to come on board and work with ISIC?
Sure.
Okay.
iSecure, we did what's called human-centered design. That means from the very get-go, we started with the patient, with the household. Remember, healthcare starts with the households. What are your challenges? Then we engaged a lot of providers, and this was in July, September, interviewed a lot of doctors. What are your challenges? We interviewed about 300 doctors to kind of say, tell us your journey, tell us the challenges you have providing services to patients. And then based on that, we designed our beta we're done with the beta in about August last year. And then we went into development. Then November, December, as each phase of the development, we're testing. So this is a product for the people, by the people. We've had the voice of the customer, the voice of the user throughout the journey of developing the process. So I'm just an actor, I'm just like the conductor of the orchestra, but really it's something that we've had a lot of support from the local doctors, from patients, and families saying, I think, we want to be part of this movement of making healthcare better.
Now, when you talk about the 60,000 people who cannot, get to a health provider, that really does focus on marginalized communities and those in rural areas of the country. How do you intend to help them understand how the app works? Because there's also a problem of literacy.
Yes. So the problem of literacy is one that is fundamental, and it supersedes even any application or any technology you might put in the market.
Sure.
So healthcare is one of those products that you'd use an intermediary. So you'd have a son, you'd have a daughter who should be able to advocate on your behalf. And that's the big difference between whether you get quality care or not. Who is advocating for you and serving as your intermediary when you're looking for care? And so it's our expectation that, folks, let's say I am the person in the family who usually is sort of cracking the whip, asking everybody, please go to the doctor, find a doctor, or the person who is very resourceful in the family. That is the person who would be the main user of the solution for friends and for family.
Okay, all right, I hear you. So then that's a bit of a challenge, because there has to be someone who can read or write, well, can read anyway, around you for you to be able to use that.
Yes. Okay. So obviously, literacy is important, numeracy is important, for a technology as powerful as iSecure. We recognize that. But you believe it or not, it's pretty intuitive. Why? Because all you just need to do is say, I am sick. I'm having, back pain. I'm having, bleeding. And based on that journey, you now can search. So actually using the phone, yes, you may need somebody, but it is your feelings that you're communicating with the application, which is very different than saying I'm looking for, Dr. XYZ. You need a high level of knowledge. You're seeking healthcare from how you're feeling, and you're being able to advocate for yourself, and pay for healthcare based on the resources that we have in the application, which makes it quite exciting.
So that's one challenge I picked up on, because there are some families that maybe the kids are in Nairobi or they've traveled, and you're just there as, the granny or somebody. So that's one challenge I've picked up. So what are some of the other challenges that you have? And then in a bit, we're going to check out the app.
Sure. So the challenges are threefold. You know, the first challenge is finding the right doctor and getting, you know, started. The next one is, you know, your ability to pay at the doctor, a point of care.
Yes.
And then the third one is, once as you get that prescription, is to say, you know, is it in stock? How much am I going to pay for it? You know, and is it of good quality? And that is really, really where it matters. Because there is a likelihood that 1 out of 3 medications you might buy may not be worth the money you're spending.
Yes.
So we really have to move people far along the journey to say, from when you feel sick to when you get that prescription, we're giving you a guarantee of quality, that you are dealing with intermediaries and resources and sources of your medicines, you know, or your treatment that we have vetted and that as reliable as we're showing on the application.
All right. Okay, fine. So let's now have, you know, a look at the app, which is going to be mirrored on the screen. Do you have your phone? Okay, fine. So we're going to go through the app, and then for our viewers who are at home can have a chance to experience it through us, and then they can see how they could be using the app themselves. All right, so there it is. It's right behind me, if we could get that shot. So we're trying to get that started. Is it free to download? It's
free to download. You can get it on the Google Store or the Apple Store, and you get download on your phone. I'd recommend, you know, this day and age, you need, you know, your banking app, you need your transportation app, you need your health app.
It's very important.
Very important.
And there's so many that have come up. This is the first of its kind here in this country or on the continent?
Definitely on the continent. It's of this quality where we're integrating the whole, you know, healthcare value chain, you know, in one application. It's certainly the first of its kind.
All right, fantastic. Okay, fine. So do we have the app yet? Do we have it up? Do we have it mirrored? Okay, fantastic. As that happens, because they're trying to mirror it, you know, with a lot, we're just going to wait for it to really load. And as it does come on, if you have any questions, do send it through on our Twitter and on our Facebook. Is there any other technology you have?
Yes, we've been in the technology space for 7 years. Our first technology was an enterprise application for hospitals and clinics. And the idea was that if you don't manage the hospitals very well, then the hospitals will not be sustainable. So we developed an enterprise application for the Africa market, which has done very well, and now being used by over 60 facilities. And so that we've learned a lot from that journey, and hopefully there are some very happy customers out there.
Oh, that's great. All right, so now we're ready, and we can take a look at the app.
Great.
So it's right behind us, don't worry, we can see it.
Okay, you can see it. Okay, fantastic. So, iSecure is an application, as you can see on the screen. There are already, you know, there are 3 providers, so you can easily locate a provider. Now, one of the things that you can do is, let's say if you are not feeling too well, you know, say I'm bleeding, for example. And the names of providers who have, you know, whom you're matching with just by expressing your symptoms come up. And you can select now based on location, price, and you can go down the list and see who is available.
Do you just write bleeding? Can you not specify where you're bleeding from?
You certainly can.
Okay.
And that will determine, you know, the doctors. Okay. So for example, if it is, you know, OBGYN related, then you're likely to be matched with a gynecologist. If not, you might be matched with a general practitioner. So as, you know, if you back pain, abdominal pain, it matches you, you know, based on your the symptoms and your age cohort as well. And so you'd book, you'd select a provider. Now, one of the things you could, if you know the provider's name, you could put the provider's name as well. Like I just put my name, Dr. Moka, and when I click on the profile, you know, it shows up. And you can see where I practice. I practice on George Padmore Road on 19th Ward, which is in the US. You can see my case types, or these are all the kinds of symptoms that I see. You can see my involvement in Ask and Share. So basically, I'm very active in the community, advising women or people on the application. You can see my specialty. So there's a lot of information you can see about me as a provider. But more important,
what do you specify in? We didn't even ask you that. What do you specialize in?
Oh, I did my general medicine.
Yes.
Then did pharmacology and toxicology. and then specialize in healthcare management.
All right. And now we are making health great again.
Yes, indeed.
It's like a doctor politician.
Exactly. So, so once as you do that, you know, you can see my education, okay? Then I'll just sort of back out of here for a minute. You can see my schedule for the day, and you know, book a visit, and immediately, you know, I get that. It says for myself or my dependents.
Okay, just be a bit slow.
Okay.
You know, you've had this app for a while now, so you know exactly how it works.
How it works.
We're trying to follow it.
Okay.
We're trying to follow it.
Let me back up a little bit here.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
So
you find a doctor.
You find a doctor.
Wait, what is 537 shillings? Is that?
That is how much. That's my consultation fee.
Oh, you're so affordable.
Very affordable.
All right,
That's the
fine.
idea.
Okay.
And then, so I want to book a visit for tomorrow, okay? And I can say I want a 1:30 a.m. appointment.
And it also shows you if the doctor is available.
It's available at that time.
Okay.
Okay? And then you'd say, I want to do an in-person visit.
Because what else is there? You're saying consultation type in person, because you could talk on the phone?
Now, if, let's say you've already seen the doctor, he knows you, he may feel comfortable calling you back and sending your prescription by phone.
it.
So you may not need to do it in person.
Okay.
Okay? It
All right,
saves
fine.
you time. And
It does.
Yeah.
And
so,
energy.
And energy, that's correct, right?
All right, so can you tilt the phone so that it's landscape?
Okay.
Tilt it like that, yeah.
Let's see if,
Yeah, but you have to open it up. Let me help you.
sure.
Let me help you. So here, but I hope I don't shut it down. Normally it's supposed to be able to, okay, I've pressed so many things.
Okay.
It's at the bottom where you open it up. Actually at the top, let me help you, sorry. This
Sure.
is Android. So it's here at the top and you can, I think it's this one, right? Let me see. Can we try? Is that it? It's not.
Actually,
okay,
I've
fine.
never
We'll just
tried
work.
to rotate the application.
Oh, you don't? Oh, you never have tried? Okay, fine.
Never tried.
Anyway, we'll just work with
So-
it like that. Okay, so now you book an appointment?
Okay, so you see the times available. So 1:30 a.m. And then it's an in-person visit. And then I'd click done. Then it could be for self, dependents, you know, non-dependents, or a pharmaceutical rep could also book a visit. We'd go with self, and then done. And now I'm authorizing the doctor to see my medical history. So I'm saying, share my symptoms, share my history. He can view my appointments, he can view my previous prescriptions, and he can see my community engagement as a patient. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm sharing. I could deselect and say, I don't want him to see my symptoms, that's fine. And that protects your information. So you choose what you want to share with the doctor. And then you proceed, done. And then you proceed to pay. And then once as you proceed to pay, you have options here which are very interesting. You know, you can, prepay or postpay when you get there. Now you can, and that you can pay by M-Pesa, you can pay by credit card.
Of course, cash.
Of course, cash when you get there. Now, here is the one thing, and you can see med points, and that makes the product very exciting. We are saying that right now, for somebody to go to the doctor, they need to have money in their pocket to go to the doctor. With med points, your lifestyle allows you to accumulate points, which you can use to pay at the time of booking your visit. So, for example, if I'm adhering to my treatment, if I am adhering to my, I'm promoting healthcare in my community, if I'm sharing medical tips, for each medical tip I give, I earn points. Now, what we are saying in essence is that if you're promoting healthcare for the greater good of society, you deserve a break.
Okay.
And those come in the form of med points, which you can use to pay for a medical visit. And that really is a very transformational way for people to afford care.
Okay. All right. It sounds very interesting. Now, we're about to get into a cybersecurity topic, but you know your health records are very, very private.
That's
right.
correct, yeah.
How can you protect yourself so that nobody, I mean, how, secure is the app that no one can ever get access to my records?
Sure. So that is very important to us. That's why we branded it iSecure, because we want to guarantee security. At the same time, we want to guarantee the fact that you seek cure.
Okay.
Now, we achieve that by guaranteeing a couple of things. One is that we're using the best technology out there. So everything is encrypted on this phone. Whatever I'm doing on this phone is not being stored on this phone. So I can access my medical information on any phone as long as I have the right key.
Yeah.
That is my phone number and my password, just like your credit card.
Okay.
We are also integrated with the MasterCard payment gateway, which guarantees the level of security as you have the banks can guarantee.
Yeah.
And then we are working with the top cloud service provider right now, and that is being used by most cloud solutions like Uber and stuff like. We're using the same technology platforms to guarantee security. So iSecure is very secure, encrypted, and everything you control your medical information. So as I book this visit, I would get a CRN number, and the doctor can only access my record if he has those 6 digits. That is how secure it is. So you know, and if he opens your record, you get a notification that a doctor has opened your record.
Okay.
So if any other person accesses your record, you'll get that notification immediately. That's how secure it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm liking it. It's very.
Thank you.
It's like the Uber of. At this point, I feel like people might never have to leave the house to do anything, because I feel like hospitals maybe is the less. Because you don't go to the banks anymore, you don't queue to pay any bills anymore, and now you don't have to go to the hospital, depending on what it is that you're suffering from. Listen, if you want to download the app, we're going to give you the proper name up on our social media, on Facebook and on Twitter. It's iSecure, that's ISIKCURE health app. It's a health app. Try it out, see how it is. If you have any questions, you can get, can they access you on social media?
Verbook on Facebook.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah, iSecure on Facebook, and you'd get us.
And you respond to questions?
Yes, we respond to questions. We have user meetups because we're trying to transform the way healthcare is accessed.
Yeah.
You see, it's really less about the technology. It's really about saying we can do something different.
Yeah.
And so we have user meetups every Thursday, every Friday in different locations around town.
Yeah.
And then we start getting other parts of the country, in due course. But each user meetup, we get about 50 to 100 people come.
Oh, how many subscribers do you have?
Right now we have over 200 providers, and within the last 8 weeks, over 2,000 have enrolled.
Wait, when did you launch it?
We launched March 1st.
Oh, just March?
Yeah, we launched in March.
Okay.
It was very exciting.
Not bad.
So,
Not bad.
And really want to thank those who have trusted us and are change agents.
Yes.
And we're the first to download it. I think we always have to give credit to those who are early adopters of technology, because they are really those the persons who make a difference and we bring the rest of